Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Clever Corvids panel. It's wonderful to have you all here with us on this fine day.
Hi, John.
Josie vamping over here. So we are going to start by welcoming you all to the Hound's Paw. I appreciate you all being here for this rather unusual event. There's a fair number of you here. We of course have our resident vigilantes, the Magpies, in attendance. But we also have some visitors from Imperial City. They call themselves the Whiskey Jays. They're also here to answer questions about their crimes and misdemeanors. I have been informed that we've only got about 30 minutes until there's going to be probably a blue coat raid. So at that point, we will have to. I will have to ask you all to flee so that I don't get arrested, and the rest of you also don't get arrested. But in the meantime, these fine criminals would be very happy to answer your questions. So if you have questions for any members of the Magpies or the Whiskey Jays, just write them down, and I will pass them along.
I eagerly
There will be a little bit of a delay. What was that?
I eagerly await.
There is, of course, a little bit of a delay in the questions reaching us due to the time vortex we're currently in. Yes.
Make it up through the crowd.
I think we also forgot to pass out enough pens, so that could be a thing. We should get more pens in here.
No, they just need to get
I will
inventive.
make a note for next time.
All right. So our first question coming in from a John Harper asks, which crew is the most dangerous? I'm a little worried about how this is going to be determined. Please don't break anything in here, guys. It'd be very expensive to replace the tables again.
Does it depend on your definition of danger?
I mean, probably.
Well, let's see. I haven't heard much about these Whiskey Jays. Not a lot of news gets here from Imperial City.
Oh, you don't need to hear much about us to know that we are rather prickly, and well, the best crimes are the ones you don't notice.
I will say the Whiskey Jays do have a tiger.
Yes.
Which
for real?
yes, the large tiger right over there under the table.
Yeah.
I do have somebody
that
working.
Is a fashion statement.
Yes.
I like you.
Oh, I like you a lot too.
Ooh.
No. Darlene, no.
I'm not sure if that question's going to be settled immediately. We may need to give the Whiskey Jays a little more time to develop and for more news of their exploits to spread. I will say, to the best of my knowledge, the Magpies have more arson to their name.
We're definitely more combustible.
We need to fix that.
It's not that we set out to start setting things on fire. It's just that it became a very useful tool in the arsenal.
I think regardless of the actual danger, we can all agree we are all dangerously pretty. Yes, we can come across the aisle on this.
We're super cute, for sure. Yeah.
So another question that's come in from Born of Shadow 67. Did Minx ever get into fashion? I'm guessing that means as a career because Minx is already a very fashionable individual. And then a follow-up question, if so, what would Darlene think is Minx's most iconic outfit?
You know, I don't think Minx dabbles in a lot of things. She was doing the art trade when we last left her, but I think she's definitely squeezed her way into a few modeling gigs, because how can you contain me? How can I not put this out into the world? And I'm curious to know what Darling would think is... What does Darling like?
Oh, I like a lot of things. I like pretty things. And you, my dear, are a very pretty thing. So, yes, do I think you're iconic? Probably. If we were in perhaps the same neighborhood, I believe we would have quite a few iconic things to dabble in. But in terms of fashion,
I know what we are doing after this event. Do you want to get coffee while running from the Bluecoats?
Yes, I would. Though I don't think cats can have coffee. Can you have coffee, Pearl?
I'll watch her.
No Build-A-Bear noise in her, so she doesn't speak. But can cats have coffee?
I do have somebody back in the kitchen getting another steak for the tiger. I really don't want her to get hungry.
It does seem bad luck to bring a large cat into a dog-focused establishment. Perhaps that's the difference between us.
Could be.
Are you a dog person?
I could go either way, but I do enjoy dogs.
We do have another question here from a cook and a geek. Since the end of the Magpies' adventures, what is the most extra thing they've acquired in terms of furniture or clothing? I do know that there was some issues, one could say, with some furniture being stolen and certain people going to jail previously.
I wonder who that could be. That's a very common event in the city. I'm not sure you're referring to anyone in specific.
Oh, go ahead.
Neri and I did acquire a large fainting sofa, far larger than I think either of us intended. Our apartment is smaller than I remember it when I'm not in it. But I'm not getting rid of it. It is so lush.
There was one case with the agency that I help run that somehow I got talked into trying a rather elaborate ruff. I don't think I'll return to that particular fashion exploit. I don't understand Nick's ideas about
how I haven't asked recently. How's Kevin doing?
Oh, he's good. Yeah.
I miss Kevin.
You are always welcome to come visit Kevin.
Yeah. He misses you.
I'll need to bring him a new outfit.
Yeah.
And I have I don't know that this story has been shared widely yet, but to give a little preview, I have heard rumors about a particular statue in Imperial City that is also fairly impressive.
Working lad does work.
I can't wait for you to meet our Kevin. He has a sweet ass.
Oh, your statue is also named Kevin. That's original.
Kevin is quite a popular name in Imperial City. Everyone leaving this poor child home alone.
So we've got another question here from Crumpet Boy. Hello, smart birds. Hello. Is there anyone
Hi,
in
Crumpet.
Duskwall you wish you'd stuck it to while you were at the top of your game? I assume that's for the Magpies. I feel like you really stuck it to quite a lot of people here.
There was one person. I ran into another Whisper once, and I can't remember their name, obviously because they're not important. They don't matter. But they kind of caught me on an off day, and I really wish I could like go to toe with them again.
Oh, was this the person on the train?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, yes. I remember you telling me about this. A very fashionable Whisper on a train. You and Minx were really interested in having a rematch with them.
Yeah.
And I don't know where they
really
went.
Unfair.
I need to outdress them. Shouldn't be hard. And don't worry, darling. You're the only Whisper for us. Not this darling. You, darling, Blair.
Oh.
Isn't
That's not confusing at all.
Oh, yes.
We have another question from Born of Shadow 67, who asks, "What is Imperial City's Panera bread like?"
You know, I don't really.
See, we don't really have a Panera, but we do have kind of like a Chili's.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
Never have I been more glad not to have taste buds anymore.
You know, that's really insulting. You know, the bottomless margaritas really aren't that bad.
I think Chili's will do fine with me spreading bad word of mouth.
If the best you can say for
Chili's.
if the best you can say for their drinks is that they're not that bad, I feel like you can do better, Val.
Each their own.
You two should hang out more.
All right. Let's see. Other questions for our crews. I'm just seeing a lot of people being very happy about the establishment of Chili's in Imperial City.
Of course.
Yes, I knew it.
Support your local family restaurants, kids.
Like Chili's.
Yep.
No, I believe that that would be the Olive Garden. I understand that when you're there, you are family.
Yes, it's a very strange ritual.
I'm so glad that I'm just not from here. I only know of the Swiss Chalet and the Boston's Pizza and Red Lobster.
Oh, we have Red Lobster.
We're just speaking these things into existence, huh?
Yes, we are. Have you heard of the Whack-Donalds?
Oh yeah, that's where you get the Cool Tires toys, right?
I do like the Cool Tires toys. That's a
You didn't
tongue
bring me
twister.
any food last time.
I didn't know if you wanted a happy meal or not. Oh wait, is that copyright? A sad meal or not?
The answer is always yes.
Arlene
How do I know if you want the
deserves a toy.
buddies? Arlene.
There is another question that has come in. What is the worst pun that Minx has ever thrown in my direction? Minx, you're being called to account for your crimes.
Well, in that case, let's rock and roll. I can be stone cold when it comes to throwing puns.
Here I
that
thought
whole
that
sequence.
the city would never forgive Lord Mora for being a secret demon who wanted to start another war. But I really think his true crime is being a demon of stone and earth because it caused that repeatedly.
Don't worry, he's slated for punishment for that.
You've really taken the peace you've enjoyed lately for granted.
This is the face she's always making.
Usually they don't get to see it.
Enjoy it, everyone.
But this...
Oh, we can hear it, though.
You can feel it, too. What's more, be with feeling?
Let's see. We've got a couple more questions for Darlene. Two questions back to back for Darlene. First one, does Darlene plan on adopting any more adorable and deadly babies? I believe you're up. I understand you're up to 3 at present.
I think I'm at 3. Though I have a lot more. Oh, but we don't talk anymore. Ooh, Arlene, why don't you just cover your ears for Mama really quickly? Just cover your ears very, very, very quickly. Yes, I would like to adopt more. I would love to adopt more. There's nothing that would make me happier than just more babies with knives.
Careful, I'm going to get jealous.
Yeah, Echo doesn't count.
What? Echo can count. Well,
the hands don't do anything. The hands are just a representation.
Well, now you have 2
Darlene
hands.
feel better.
Now you have 2 pairs of hands. Shut it.
The next question for Darlene is Pearl allowed to wander around outdoors? And if so, does she come back with presents?
oh yes, I do allow her to wander the streets, though it is, usually we get the odd complaint, oh, don't let your cat out. That's a very big cat. And I go, oh, well, maybe you shouldn't be cooking outside. Maybe she won't go over and bring me your chicken or whatever. I usually get the gifts in the form of dead birds, dead rats, dead bird rats, just all sorts of things. Sometimes she will bring home a rather large ball. There you go, not a bowl, a ball. And then afterwards I have to go find who it belongs to because I know for a fact she stole it from a child, and well, I don't want any balls in my apartment.
Maybe Nyrix and I should get a cat after all. Not too large. I don't want to crib your thing.
The big ones are better for cuddling. It's like a permanent heater in the winter times.
She's very soft. I'm petting her right now.
All right. Let's see here. We've got a very specific question from... I'm going to take a stab at this name. Crazy Maniac Q. It's a very unique spelling. Who asks, I would wonder if there's an establishment, maybe a tea house called the Avery, run on the back of a bored socialite, a housewife, and an Aruvian prince. Would you be apprehensive about getting a cup of tea there? I feel like this may be a reference that I'm not getting.
It does sound like a nice place.
It would depend on the Aruvian prince.
Who doesn't
I
like
do.
tea?
I would go, though. I'd be a little apprehensive of tea. Perhaps we could settle on something stronger. I don't know.
Yeah, probably try it
I
once.
like tea. I just don't want to get involved in anything messy.
We do have another question that I think I can probably field here. What was Kay and Shrimp's most excellent adventure? So, Kay stops by from time to time. And of course, brings Shrimp, who is enormous now. Not quite as big as the tiger, but pretty big. He has grown substantially. And
But he's still our baby boy. Yes, he is.
Of course, he is always going to be the most perfect pup, even though he knocked over a table by leaning on it the other day. In terms of their
sturdier table.
Yes, I think so. If I'm going to be having this many large creatures in the Hound's Paw, I think probably we'll need to invest in some sturdier. Maybe I just need to nail it all to the floor. I'm not sure. Anyway, Kay was telling me recently about a sort of wild goose chase they went on up and down the canals, trying to catch a particularly difficult spirit that was seeming to look for some kind of lost trinket that it had appreciated in life, but was just engaging in a lot of petty theft. So they finally caught up to the spirit and were able to lay it to rest. But Shrimp apparently got just a whole horde of new dog toys out of it. Just very happy. Apparently needs a lot of dog toys. He apparently just chews through everything very quickly. Let's see here. Oh, question for Blair. Whatever happened to Dowler? How is Dowler doing these days?
He's doing good. He's still doing the same old thing. I kind of do my thing. He does his. I see him every once in a while, but he's doing good.
Still scouring the Deathlands.
Yeah, we're in actually two different lines of work. So that's why our paths don't cross as often as they used to. When I was first starting out, I was seeing him more because he knew the place better than I did. But I kind of have my feet under me for now. So,
That is wonderful to hear. Let's see. Any other questions for our crews of scoundrels? We do have just a few minutes before I understand there will be a blue coat raid. It's very polite of Oh, go ahead.
There's one from a cook and a geek. Was there a neighborhood in Duskwall you wish you got to explore a bit more with the Magpies?
I will circle back to that when I am Ree and not Rigney.
Oh, right. Yes. Sorry, I'm terrible at this.
That's okay. So I see a question here from a Mr. Bruce 123. Did Rigney live happily ever after? I appreciate that. I think so. I think I'm doing pretty good. I own this place now. Don't have to deal with my landlord anymore. People trying to buy the place out from under me. Looking at expanding. Sophia has been doing a lot more baking. We're thinking about buying the building next door that's been empty for a while. Have her set up a bakery there, which would allow me to actually start offering some more food. Nevin could do some cooking there as well. And I mean, things are going pretty good with me and Nick.
When are you proposing?
Yeah. Blair, that it's supposed to be a surprise.
I
know you're very I know you're very excited, but
okay.
I have a
She knows all
plan.
the arcane secrets.
I have a plan, and we're not there yet. Just
okay. I'm sorry.
I'm happy for you two crazy kids who are older than me.
Thanks. I think.
I wish you all the luck
welcome.
keeping this secret now that multiple people know it.
Yeah, no, I'm just going to have to go see him tonight and throw my entire plan into the river.
I could try a ritual to make everybody forget all this ever happened.
You know,
Just an offer.
you know what? It's not that big of a deal. It'll be fine. You know what? This is good motivation for me to actually just go through with it.
Okay.
I just, I just feel like mind altering rituals is not what I want my establishment to be known for going forward.
But that's the thing. It wouldn't be known for it because I'm wiping their memory.
Blair, you've been hanging around Skurlock too much.
Yeah, I do feel like your morals have become a bit more questionable lately.
It's fine.
Oh dear. So I do see another question here from Mr. Bruce again. Is which I think we've sort of had answered. Is Skurlock and Blair still talking, still working together?
Yeah. I see him a few times a week. I'm still doing jobs for him. Sometimes I get Oscar some tea. I'm kind of the tea gopher some days, which I don't really love. But yeah. We work together now. Top secret, but yeah, we work together.
A lot of secrets just kind of being played out here.
I'm only capable of carrying a select number of secrets at a time. Sorry,
so you have
Mickey.
to just get. I understand. That's okay. So one last question here again from Crazy Mania. Where can a first-time viewer catch up on your cruise shenanigans? If you're looking to learn more about the Magpies, you can visit magpiespodcast.net. And if you are looking for the Whiskey Jays, clevercorvids.net has their story so far. And on that note, I do hear the blue coat bells ringing. So if everyone could please proceed to the exits in an orderly fashion and flee, I am going to need to shut everything down before we get raided. Thank you all. Have a great time. Have a great night.
Scatter!
Coffee.
I was never here. I was gone.
And now we're just us. Our characters have fled into the night. So yeah, now we just have to be us. So there were a couple questions. I want to scroll back. Okay. So there was a question earlier. So now if you've got questions for us as cast members, performers, podcast makers, this is the time. There were a couple questions posted earlier that I want to jump back to. Mr. Bruce had asked, in the later seasons of Magpies, it sounds like you had an overarching plot for the season and a development arc for each character. Are we doing the same with The City That Never Dies, or are we just kind of playing and seeing where it goes? Yes and no. I don't have an overarching narrative plot for the campaign the same way that I did for Magpies, but we definitely have character arcs.
Yeah.
Oh boy, do we have character arcs.
All of us turned in backstories.
Mm-hmm. And we are playing them out real slow.
I'm very excited to learn more about all of them.
Yeah.
Yes.
We understood the assignment. The assignment was slow burn.
Mm-hmm.
We got to experience the more accurate experience of me making a character, because Minx came in with nothing and I just saw where she went. But Echo, I was like, here's several pages of backstory.
As somebody who typically writes several pages of backstory for my own characters, it was great. I'm very excited. Aki likes to occasionally come into my DMs and be like, I thought of a way to make my backstory sadder. Do you want to hear it? And I'm
Oh, you
just
do
like,
that
yes.
too?
Oh, yeah,
Excellent.
yeah.
I do it specifically at the most unnecessary hours of the night when it's specifically becoming the morning. So
Listen, it's sad character thoughts hour.
yeah. So Ree either goes to sleep with sad thoughts or wakes up with sad thoughts. So I'm a menace.
It's true.
And then bouncing back to the question from a cook and a geek, was there a neighborhood, this is for me, Ree, was there a neighborhood in Duskwell you wish got to explore a bit more in the Magpies? I really wanted to spend more time in Tangletown, which I think is in Crow's Foot. I feel like I've had to just clear out all of the knowledge I had of Duskwall to make room for Imperial City. But it's this neighborhood built on the ruins of a Leviathan hunter ship just floating out in the river. And it's explicitly neutral territory for the gangs in the area. And I just think that's really cool. We only went there once. And I like that concept. We do have in Imperial City a space that is similar neutral territory because I find that a very interesting concept. But that's a space that I kind of wish we could have explored a little more in Magpies.
Some really fun flavor.
Yeah. Let's see here. Oh, John Harper says that Tangletown is named after a neighborhood here in Seattle. I didn't know that. That's cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Sounds cool, actually.
Let's see. I'm just looking through to make sure I didn't miss anything. Evil Weirdo asks, are there any plans to release source books or pamphlets for Imperial City or the Deathlands? Maybe. One, we'd have to talk to the good folks at Evil Hat about it. But also, at this point, we're still kind of developing a lot of the setting. And I would be a little reluctant to just post something or be like, here's, about this neighborhood. And then 3 episodes later, have it be like, oh, we actually changed a bunch of stuff because it worked better for the story. But yeah, I mean, kind of as we develop it more, it'd be cool.
Yeah.
I know there were a couple when we shared.
Work.
Yeah, Josie made such a cool map.
A really good
so cool.
I have the map open every time we play, just so that way I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
Locations.
Places. Let's see. Born of Shadow. Oh, go ahead.
I was like, we did have a question that was up there. I don't know. It's from Dissonance M, using any custom playbooks in this newest season.
Oh yeah. Not custom playbooks. If you aren't caught up on the latest episode of City That Never Dies, this is spoilery, but I'm just going to say Echo is using a non-standard playbook, but it's not a custom playbook. It's one from the core book.
Although we got to finagle with
though.
a few aspects of it.
Yeah. We've made some tweaks. And then Born of Shadow asks a similar question of, apart from vigilantes in Magpies, are there any hacks or custom content that you use or plan to use? I'm trying to think if we've got. I feel like right now we're running. We made a couple little tweaks to the equipment on the character sheets just to sort of reflect the new setting, like flashlights instead of lanterns, different gun options. But
I think I have a scope.
Yeah.
Similar to a scope. Yeah. I can't remember. We
And
thought it was
our contact list too.
Yeah.
We made the
Right,
contacts
yeah.
for each other.
Yeah, because I didn't want to use the same contacts that were in kind of the core book because we've already like established those characters so much. So we actually went through and everybody just sort of made up contacts for each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
So
fun.
which has been fun because it's just as limited of information. It's just like a name and a 1 or 2 word description. So we've just been kind of like fleshing that out as we go, the same way we did with the originals. But I don't think we're planning anything in specific, but if it makes sense for the story, like, we'll do what we what makes the most sense for the story we're telling, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Bruce asks, did you decide what the cars of Imperial City run on? Yes.
We did?
Well, we did a little bit, but I don't think it's been revealed in the setting yet. We talked about it. I kind of don't want to say because we talked about some ideas, but nothing's been confirmed. And the things that are going to be like, it could be an interesting plot development when it's revealed. So I want to keep it a secret for now.
Ooh. I say, as though I don't know. I wrote all the cars shit.
You did a great job with the cars.
Yeah. Josie, like unprompted, we were just talking about cars, and Josie just disappeared, and then came back and was like, "Here's like 5 pages of notes on the car companies of Imperial City," and I was just like, "Oh my god, this is the best."
I just wanted our characters to sound like they knew what they were talking about.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. And like that's the kind of stuff that, it makes the setting feel really like filled in and like believable. And I love it. And if you're on our Patreon, there's some excerpts from those notes in a recent post. So yeah, something to check out if you're interested. Oh yeah, a cook and a geek says, Josie, that was so good. I love the car stuff. Let's see.
That's me. I can't complete my daily tasks, but I can fart out several pages of notes for RPG.
Listen, if that ain't a mood.
That is not
I occasionally run into that issue when I am editing audio. I will start editing episode audio, and then I'd be like, ooh, I've got a really good idea for the next episode that we're going to record. And then I'll go and spend an hour jotting down notes instead of editing audio. This is why I have a backlog. Let's see. Born of Shadow would like to know, is the moon haunted? This was directed to us and John Harper.
But John
says the moon always has been. So I think that settles that.
Meme.
What? Oh, sorry.
I'm even more worried about the moon.
It was John's immediate response was always has been. So astronaut meme.
Oh, I don't like that.
I love
no. What are your secrets?
Were my concerns about the moon on air? I don't remember.
I think we talked about it in the season 4 Q&A.
To be fair, we've had concerns about the moon multiple times.
Yeah. Starting with me revealing to the crew that the moon is slowly approaching. It's getting bigger every year, and also sometimes it has like refracted reflections around it.
It's the refracted stuff that trips me up. I don't like that.
The exact phrase is as if it were seen through a vast crystalline dome, which, ooh, if that isn't a juicy little bit of world building for me to just run wild with.
I don't like it.
I just know that I have in my notes somewhere, is the moon actually a moon? Or is the moon the moon or something like that?
All I know is that Blades in the Dark seems to be the type of setting that would totally have like Transformers on the moon. Don't ask me why. That's the vibe. I feel like they're there.
See, I was imagining
think they're there.
I was imagining like an Eldritch horror, but Transformers I like a lot better.
Yeah, because think
There's
about
a
it.
They're
Twilight
not
Zone
mutually
episode.
exclusive.
You know what? That's true. Yeah.
There is Unicron, so
just like think about it for a second though. If we're like in our current setting, it's like roaring 20s and stuff. There's nothing scarier than just an industrial revolutionized semi-ectoplasmic Decepticon on the moon going, they'll never see these mirrors. But I'm always watching. Like that's so. I mean, we could even
right.
have like a Linkin Park thing going on in the back.
I'm revising. I'm revising my previous answer about not having an arc for the campaign. I have one now. We're taking a hard right into sci-fi. I'm sending you all to the moon to fight the Transformers. Good luck, everyone.
Oh we're going to steal the moon, like Despicable Me.
Let's see. Any other questions?
I'm sparing you all from quoting Moon Eggman a bunch.
Thank
I'm
you.
right there with you.
I know. I'm just
I
like,
don't know what that is, and I'm probably
Oh,
better for
we'll show
that.
you later.
idiot.
Shadow the Hedgehog.
The weirdo says, "Surprise! Bring your own Met crossover." Maybe.
So lucky.
Yeah, hi, I'm on both of those. So I mean, if you really want to, I could
We'll make it happen.
Bring your own mech is always looking for guests. Just saying, and if you ever want to hear my voice, jump from this lovely sultriness to just this fucking gremlin gerbil shit. We can do that. I don't know how that's gonna work. I don't know how like the Whiskey Jays are gonna handle streaming because my character is an e-girl. But let's see what happens.
Oh my god.
We'll adapt. Will there? Okay, so Mr. Bruce asks, will there be any further Magpies one-shots? So I don't want to promise anything, but one idea that I have kicked around is a one last job thing where we see the Magpies in the Roaring 20s setting. So it's been, there's about a 40-year time difference, so they would all be like in their 60s to get together for one last score. It's something that we've talked about. We'd like to do it, but I don't want to be like, yes, it's definitely happening, just because life is busy and stressful, and scheduling extra episode recordings and editing extra episodes can be a little tricky. But it's something that I want to do. I'm hoping to. In terms of cameos in The City That Never Dies, honestly, probably not. I really want to make sure that folks who never listen to the Magpies can come into City with and not feel like they're missing anything. Because I've heard from a number of people who are like, oh yeah, I wanted to listen to the Magpies, but there's so many episodes and I got intimidated. And I was like, that's fine. I understand. I feel your pain.
I'll have a show for you.
Yeah, it's like, good news. We have a new show and we're only 6 episodes in. So so yeah, I'm hoping that we can check back in with the Magpies at some point, but it probably won't be in The City That Never Dies.
Minx will very much appreciate flapper fashion. Jeez, not flasher.
Oh
fashion.
yeah,
flapper fashion in multiple ways.
Yeah, I feel like we talked about Minx just having one of those like really dramatic, like floor length Minx or like mink fur coats.
Some real Corella Deville type shit.
Yeah.
the long cigarette holder. And if the Whiskey Jays had dream episodes, what would they be? Oh man, I would like to do that again. That was a super fun episode.
Yeah.
Our Eldritch horror episode where everyone went into a fun dreamscape, but I don't know yet. But it was really fun, and if I can figure out a way to make it work again, I'd like to.
Echo streams are not as happy as Minx is.
Yeah.
Yeesh.
Listen, we had the option for happy dreams and not happy dreams, I think.
Yes. Yeah. Let's see. Dream episodes. A Cook and a Geek asks, where do you turn for inspiration for set building and backstory creation? Oh man.
We pull from a lot of things.
Yeah.
We mostly just pull from things that we already like and just throw it in a blender.
Yeah, like it's hard for me to say like, oh, it's specifically this. It's just like all the stuff that's been percolating. Like I know I really wanted to do a Roaring 20s setting because I live in Chicago and I'm really interested in sort of the criminal enterprises of that era. But yeah, I don't know if anybody else has specific things that they've kind of pulled from.
Oh yeah.
Aki, go first.
So a lot of my stuff comes from simply 1920s Shanghai, 1920s Hong Kong, that kind of stuff. And that's why you'll hear like, Darling's dress downs are more cultural and stuff like that, or at least cultural to my culture. 1920s was not a great time for my people as well. So a lot of things that I pull from are specifically like, let's avoid bad propaganda, just things like that. Very like simple things. I will say Darling's backstory is tragic for the sole purpose of I based it on what a lot of immigrants went through. So when as that goes on, it's the meme, where's all the cheese? It's under the sauce.
Yeah.
That's in Darling's entire backstory. It's a lot of that is based on just the immigrant lifestyle, 1920s, and what was going on coming to like America specifically, North America specifically, and just from that entire side of in terms of fashion, in terms of lifestyle, in terms of food, and how the people were. It's 100% 1920s, like Shanghai, that kind of stuff. The best vibe is think of Legend of Korra. I'm forgetting the island's name, but that is a very good visual vibe of what I think whenever we play, except more gray.
Yeah. Yeah. That place, but night
Republic
constantly.
City, right?
Republic City, thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
For Blade stuff specifically, I'm reminded and pull on a lot of the New Crobrezen setting by China Meeville, like Perdido Street Station and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of similarities there. Someone even made a hack in the Forge the Dark site for like Blades of New Crobrezen.
Ooh, cool.
And I'm like, that would be really cool. And they both kind of have a similar sort of dystopian punk fantasy mood. But my primary inspiration for this game, as in most things, is anime, because I'm a huge weeb. Echo is kind of taking Baccano and Full Metal Alchemist and just, yeah.
Nice.
Let's see. We've only got
I
about
I always have to, when I'm playing Blades of the Dark, reckon with the fact that I got really obsessed with Six of Crows some years ago. Like, no matter what happens, like, my brain just, like, will connect it to that. I think I literally built Arlene, like, I'm making a thief playbook, but it's not in Edge. Specifically, it's not in Edge. So I had to, like,
dragging
build her
yourself
as, like,
away from it.
in opposition.
Let's see. Okay, so there was a question about the doctor character with the ghost leeches. That is The Rivers Lost But Seeking is her full name, played by our good friend Waffles. They will not be joining us today. They have a kiddo who needs attention during the daylight hours. So
Waffles is amazing.
Waffles is wonderful. Seeks is wonderful. and we'll see if Waffles makes their way back onto the show. Let's see here. Yeah, there's some questions here about Pearl's origin being revealed. How did Darlene become mom to Arlene? All things that will be revealed
Wait
in
and
time.
see.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. If you want a fun fact about Pearl, the name though, this is a Build-A-Bear, Umbreon, and this is where Pearl's name came from. It came from my Umbreon. And going to get this thing and everything. It happened during we were having a really bad storm surge time, and so all of my friends were calling Pearl the Stormbringer because it only happened right as I entered the mall and left. Just really bad heavy storms
Wow.
just to get Pearl. So like that's where Pearl came from. It's this one.
The most powerful Umbreon.
Yes. Ever seen.
Okay. I've got a couple more questions. You're all playing pretty different characters this time around. I'm assuming from compared to the Magpies. Would you say these are closer to or different than your usual MO, your usual character styles?
See, that's tricky because Minx, personality-wise, was a very Josie character, but I went about her completely differently and just felt her out, and I feel like her arcs would have gone differently if I had planned it out more. Echo, on the other hand, is very personality-wise not a Josie character, but I did all my usual bullshit for planning out arcs and the injecting of angst and stuff like that. So say Echo is more my MO, but
I think Val is very different from my MO. I know that like my default, I usually play younger characters who are magic users because I like playing the yet to be burnt out gifted kid.
mood.
Yeah.
As everyone just kind of goes, ooh.
Yeah.
Too real.
Yeah. But that's just like a trope I enjoy playing. I like playing the little baby with a lot of potential. But yeah, as far as like building out like behind the scenes stuff, I approached Val very similarly to Blair. Val is just very different as far as like my typical tabletop character, I think.
Yeah, but they are wonderful. I love Val. How about you, Minna?
Myra is the most Minna character it was possible to build. She's very focused. She's very goal focused, which is definitely my play style. Very always like able to use social things to resolve a situation, which is also kind of my play style. I've put a lot of myself into Myra, like intentionally, which is not usually a thing I do with characters, but I had some fun with that. So it's very, very strange transitioning to a very different character because like Arlene is much more impulsive and like a little more chaotic than like what I usually go for, and it's a different character. I'm having fun though. I wanted to have a different vibe, and I felt that if I went too much towards my usual character type, I would just end up with Myra again.
I see that Aki has already been dunked on in chat with an answer for this.
Yeah, all right. You caught me. You bet your face off my
What did I say? I'm not looking at chat.
Amegia1 says, in before Aki says either tall/small lesbians with pets.
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
I'm just compensating. Okay, I'm compensating. I can't have a pet in real life, so I'm obsessed with Pokemon, so I'm just compensating everything I have. I will insert an animal companion some way.
Yeah, and I like. Yeah, it was super cool when we started doing the like character generation and setting stuff for this, because everybody came in with like, okay, here's the character concept that I have, and just sort of figured out how to weave the group together. And I love the dynamics that have come out with everyone. And then Reach for Reach for Dreams asks, you've developed a robust, dedicated, heartwarm, and pro-social gaming group. Thank you. I'm envious. How would you go about doing it again, face to face, in a town of about 200,000? Oof.
I do it face to face.
Yeah, I'm really bad at meeting people in person, especially now. In these times where I don't leave my house. But, I think it's like, for me, this group kind of like, I knew Kim and Minna and Josie from different communities. Aki came in through audition. And yeah, I don't know how to meet people in person anymore. I've lost that skill. But it's, I feel like, like when you feel safe doing so, like gaming nights at nerdy spaces is a good way to just kind of get out and meet people. If you feel comfortable with it, running a pickup game of Blades in the Dark of just like, hey, I'm doing a one shot. Here's some character sheets. Here's an intro to the world. And go from there. I've done that at cons, and I've had some really good experiences meeting people. Yeah. And we're about at an hour, so I'm going to ask. Or we have one question for me. How very dare I? In response to the latest episode, I assume of The City That Never Dies. And to that, I say. I regret nothing, and I apologize for nothing.
Free dares all.
Yeah. But yeah, we're right at the hour here. And yeah, so we're going to be wrapping up. Thank you all so much for joining us. This was a ton of fun.
Yeah.
And yeah, visit clevercorvids.net. Get cool, you can't see it with my camera here, but you can get cool merch at our shop. Back us on Patreon, follow us on Twitter, all that good stuff, and continue to enjoy all of those cool things happening at the Con in the Dark over the rest of this weekend. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.